weekend set to kick it off here in the Dome. The 2-5 Saints, the 3-4 Eagles. And despite the fact that Andy Reid's team has lost for their last 5, great opportunity here tonight to get to 4-4 and be a game and a half behind the Giants, a game in the loss column. Joe Vitt, 58 years old, Blackwood, New Jersey native, not too far from Philly. Once was a linebacker coach with the Eagles. He is now serving as the coach for the rest of this season as Sean Payton remains suspended. His team has a long road to hoe. Forget the division, just with hopes of the wild card. And Jonathan Vilma and the Saints defense will be on the field first. Philadelphia's won the toss. Michael Vick's team will get the ball to get it going. Thomas Morstead has been very good in his deep kicks and touchbacks. Philadelphia sends the rookie out of Georgia, Brandon Boykin, terrific return man to bring it back. A couple of teams playing with desperation on the eve of the election. Off we go from New Orleans, and Boykin won't return it. And the drive will start from the 20-yard line. So Johnny comes Michael Vick and this Philadelphia offense with the big names like Jackson, Backlund, only 17 points a game thus far this year.
They got to block better. They've got some injuries up front, but they've been inconsistent. Just hasn't been good enough. They've got to start faster. They've been outscored 40-7 in the first quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Reid comes out aggressive early. Don't be surprised at all if they take a shot right here on the first play of the game.
We begin with Clay Harbor, the backup tight end in the backfield and motioning out. On first down, here is Vick loading up and taking that shot downfield, and it's incomplete, well covered. They went right after Patrick Robinson, who has struggled, John, mightily for the Saints this year.
It's a good call. Patrick Robinson has struggled with an exclamation point. That time, a full play action pass, and they use Deshaun Jackson on a deep angle, and Robinson showed his first-round talent there, a man that has really struggled in previous weeks.
Much like that Monday nighter in Washington in 2010. When the Eagles opened with a shot play, a big play, and scored 59 on the Redskins. Second down, second pass attempt for Vick, and it's complete. First down yardage regained by Jackson. And Deshaun will get 18 out of it. Shown the sideline by Jabari Greer at the 38.
Missed tackles continue to plague the New Orleans Saints. That time Roman Harper fails to wrap up Deshaun Jackson on this over route. Watch Harper come in here, miss the tackle, and Deshaun Jackson is off to the races. Big first down for Philadelphia. Simple over route on the backside of a naked bootleg, and the New Orleans Saints, Vilma, Harper must tackle better.
Vick adjusted to LaShawn McCoy's first throw. No gain. Pushed out of bounds. Yards. They've come by the tons against this New Orleans defense. The most yards allowed in the first 7 games of a season in the history of the NFL was 475 per game.
Important that they get some confidence early in this game. They need to get off the field immediately. And it all starts with eliminating big plays. They were gashed 9 times for 20 yards or more last week against Denver. It's important they get off the field now.
As the Philly faces Steve Spagnuolo, former Eagles assistant for 8 years, new defensive coordinator for New Orleans this year. McCoy running left, at the 42-yard line. John, you spent time as an assistant coach with Andy Reid over your days. The first 15 plays are often talked about. What are the Eagles trying to accomplish in the first 15 here?
Well, first of all, you want to get a first down, get your offense in rhythm. You'd like to feature your best players. You've seen McCoy carry the ball. You've seen Deshaun Jackson catch it. You want high percentage throws. And don't be surprised if there's a gadget or another shot play early. Andy Reid loves that to establish his aggressive style.
The rookie Bryce Brown is the back on 3rd and 6. And the Saints rush 3, and the throw is complete for the first down to Clay Harbor. So Harbor didn't play much in the last game. His 9th reception of the season. 3rd year now in the NFL for Harbor.
Harbor's a good receiver. They like to use he and Brent Selleck together. That time he beats Curtis Lofton on a simple stick route to the outside. Watch him flash his eyes. He sees the ball leave Michael Vick's hands. Big third down conversion.
Shy of midfield, Michael Vick. Over the middle, and let's see, no signal yet, incomplete. That's right, Brent Selleck, the intended receiver. Now a conversation between the two officials to confirm the call on the ground.
This might be a challenge. Selleck runs right down the seam again against Curtis Lofton. That's the matchup Andy Reid's looking for. Good call on a no catch. But Lofton is a very good linebacker in base situations. Teams have attempted to spread the Saints defense out and create space matchups with the tight end against Curtis Lofton, and look for Philadelphia to continue to work Selleck inside against Curtis Lofton, the former Falcon.
A lot of pressure brought by New Orleans. Vick hit as he throws sideline. Macklin incomplete. Rules that he was out when he finally got it. Cameron Jordan, second year out of Cal, made the push inside on Vick.
When you blitz Michael Vick, you have to contain him. This time you're going to see a cross dog coming right up the middle. But New Orleans does a nice job containing Vick in the pocket. You see the lick that Vick takes late from Jonathan Casillas and Cam Jordan. Good pressure.
And they brought that pressure up the middle with two defensive linemen. Usually we see linebackers there. Not atypical for the Saints. 3rd and 10. Vick is trying to get the ball, trying to call timeout. And let's see if the referee, Clete Blakeman, gives him the timeout first.
Philadelphia takes their first timeout prior to the snap.
Just under 3 minutes gone by. Opening drive of the game. Philly, 3rd and 10. Man was hooking up the defense with the Giants. Eagles before that. Steve Spagnuolo was the St. Louis Rams head coach, now here in New Orleans.
Very creative blitz coach, especially on 3rd and long situations. Haven't been able to use a lot of these blitzes because they haven't gotten offenses into 3rd and long, but here they come.
Eagles go 3 wide. Bringing Stanley Havili, the fullback, to help pick up any pressure. He does. They still get to Vick, and his throw for Jason Avant is caught for the first down. A good job by Avant and Vick. Gain of 14.
Got 8 New Orleans Saints on the line of scrimmage, and Sean McCoy does a nice job picking up the blitz, but Michael Vick hangs in the pocket, finds Avant on an inside breaking route. How about that throw? They bring one more than you have in protection. You have to beat the blitz with the throw. This will be reviewed.
Yep, and challenge flag thrown by Joe Vitt. And it was a giveaway with the rubber pellets that are underneath this artificial surface. And Joe Vitt threw the challenge flag, and looks like it's one New Orleans will win. Second game, Joe Vitt is the head coach for the Saints. Get a look at it down there, and they'll look at it in replay. Too soon as we went to break. Got another look at that. I want to bring in Jerry Austin, twice the Super Bowl referee, man who's actually under the hood, our rules expert. What do you see here? What are we looking at, Jerry?
Well, the first thing I see is both hands on the ball before the ball touches the ground. You can make an argument that's a completion, and the ball touching the ground is a completed pass touching the ground.
Is there enough there to say that that pass is complete, even though it hits the ground and the rubber pellets come up as he drags the ball on the ground?
I think there's enough there to say it's complete, but I don't know that this referee will make it that way.
Okay, here's Clete Blakeman, the referee.
After review of the play, the receiver locked in the catch. The ruling on the field is confirmed. New Orleans will be charged with their first timeout.
Jerry, I know what you saw, and I agree, and thank you. That's why you're here. But I got to tell you, this is where this is getting ridiculous. If the ball hits the ground, it can't be a catch. Not like, I mean, did you see the ground come up, John?
Yeah, I used to coach for a living. You got to get over it, get back to the game. But I'll tell you what.
Come on, was that a catch?
No, it wasn't
Thank
a catch.
Thank you. I know by rule it was, but you know, you ask 50 people in a bar, was that a catch or not a catch? They'd probably say it wasn't a catch. All right. So they're at the 39, and the drive stays alive, and New Orleans loses a timeout there. They cannot earn a third challenge. Bryce Brown is the running back. Vilma gets right through the hole. Couldn't get to Brown, but off the corner, Malcolm Jenkins, the safety, makes the play and limits the game.
Steve Spagnuolo is coming after the Eagles. That time, Jonathan Vilma shoots a gap on the weak side. He's unaccounted for. And you're going to see Malcolm Jenkins come off your left side and make a beautiful open field tackle. I like the aggressive style that the New Orleans Saints have come out here with defensively tonight. Good to see Vilma back in black.
They're being more aggressive tonight than they have been the last few games?
A lot more.
After the gain of one was Sean McCoy looking for space, only a couple of yards. How about the last 3 games for LaShawn McCoy? 53 yards rushing, 22 yards rushing, 45 yards rushing. What's happened with McCoy?
Hard to believe. I think it's a combination of things. They're not playing Jones Jr. high, Mike. They've played some really good defensive teams, the Atlanta Falcons, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to block better. There's a lot of inexperience up front, and they've played some good teams.
Still the opening drive of the game for the Eagles, with a couple of third down conversions already. Vick hit. Pressure came up the middle, but a marker down as Martez Wilson came in with the contact.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hit to the head of the quarterback, number 95 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is on the man who made the sack. You could hear the helmet-to-helmet contact that was called.
These are backbreakers. They're using Martez Wilson as an inside pass rusher to get more speed on the field, and he beats Kelly like a drum. Second time right guard Kelly has been beaten badly. It looked like he ducked into that foul. I can see the Saints' frustration on their sidelines. The catch by Avant, the personal foul, 2 big calls by the officials early in this game.
Drive stays alive at the 27-yard line. Vick on play action. Scrambling, nowhere to go. And Broderick Bunkley was inactive last week against the Broncos. John, we're seeing a lot of what we've seen all year. Michael Vick taking direct hits.
Yeah, and he's not going to last very long. That time it's a bootleg. They're trying to bring him back to his throwing side. You're going to see the lineman pull, but Michael Vick is under immediate pressure from Will Smith. They contain him well. He's taken 4 big hits in this opening series. That's got to stop.
Second and 13, 10 players at the line for New Orleans, all coming. Ball spit out on the hit by Cameron Jordan. Vilma dives for it, but it's recovered by Todd Harrimans of the Eagles. A huge loss back into Philly territory.
I don't know how this protection system works, but they're going to need some audibles, or they're going to need to take some time out, because the Arizona Cardinals buried Michael Vick with double A gap pressure a few weeks ago, and they're bringing it again tonight. That time, Jonathan Vilma not touched. You see Cameron Jordan, number 94. They're getting to Michael Vick with 2, 3 defenders every time he takes a snap.
And by Vick able to grab the players he was going for the ball, it may have saved a touchdown. Going the other way, a scoop and score. 3 consecutive sacks gives you third and a third of the field. A little shotgun draw with McCoy. But despite a couple of calls that did not go the Saints' way, Philadelphia, after about 6.5 minutes, will have to punt the ball.
And Michael Vick better go see Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach, and get some answers, because Steve Spagnuolo has made his point perfectly clear. He's coming after the Philadelphia Eagle quarterback tonight.
So Lance Moore is back deep. We mentioned Darren Sproles at the very top, the outstanding all-purpose player for New Orleans, out with a broken hand. Saints tell us he did that in the game last week against Denver. They find out till Monday. Pressure off the edge, but Mac McBriar gets it away. And it's a touchback. New Orleans will take over the 20. A 14-play drive with a punt at the back end. Rarely do you see that. And we've seen a lot of this year. Vic getting pummeled. Team play drive, no points, and ending up in a punt. You don't see that very often, right? Well, hasn't happened this year in the NFL. Last time it happened, Arizona did it for 16 plays last year. So, after a long wait, after being introduced, Drew Brees and this New Orleans offense takes over. Man's thrown a touchdown pass in 50 straight games, the National Football League record that he set in this building about a month ago. Handoff, Mark Ingram, nowhere to go as Cullen Jenkins walks right in with Trent Cole for a loss of 5.
Wow, the Saints go to Charles Brown, an extra tight end, to run the football, and Mark Ingram has no chance. Watch Trent Cole. He beats Charles Brown easily to the inside. That's not how you want to start the game.
Chris Ivory checks in as the running back. And the play is killed for a false start.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And a poor start for Brees in this offense. Sproles out with a hand injury, and as we said at the very beginning, rare poor offensive performance in Denver for this crew.
Well, I think they need to run the ball to help their defense. They're only getting 26 minutes of possession time, and their defense is out there too long. They also have to sustain some drives. Too many 3-and-outs, and they were 1 for 12 on third down last week against the Broncos. That won't get it.
2nd and 18. Drew Brees, first throw caught by Jimmy Graham. It's back near where the drive started at the 21-yard line. Graham has a nagging ankle injury, but it's Sproles. You see that hand that was all bandaged up, broken, had surgery on 4 to 6 weeks. Didn't hear about that injury until later on in the week, and that's a significant impact. What is missing without Darren Sproles?
Well, not only his playmaking, but the threat of Darren Sproles. He changes the way you call a game from a defensive standpoint because linebackers can't cover Darren Sproles.
Eagles defense hopping around. 3rd and 9. Brees, pressure, got away from Trent Cole, takes a shot down the field for Lance Moore. Holds on with a flag down at the 41-yard line. Assuming it'll stand, it's a gain of 38.
Unbelievable. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, calls the perfect blitz. The automatics to an all-out blitz against an empty backfield set, and Trent Cole misses Drew Brees.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. Penalties declined. Yardage is good for a first down.
You talk about getting there and making the sack. They're not going to block the left defensive end. They got a double-A gap blitz. Trent Cole is clean, and Drew Brees dips that inside shoulder. Unbelievable play by Brees.
So from 2nd and 18, they pick up the first down, and Brees incomplete. Try to swing it out to Pierre Thomas.
You know, this no-back offense is a huge part of the Saints' success. Nobody does it better. No backs. They give 5 receivers free releases, and you have to have a plan as a defensive coach how you're going to deal with it. Are you going to play maximum zone, or are you going to come after it? That time the Eagles blitzed it. They had the right play called, and Trent Cole didn't get it done.
It counts for the 41, put it in the belly of Pierre Thomas up the middle. Nice run for about 7 yards for Thomas.
Pierre Thomas had a lot to do with the New Orleans Saints winning a world championship a couple years ago, Mike. He picks up blitzes. He runs routes. He's an outstanding runner. He can run in the I formation, shotgun. It doesn't matter. To have a man like Pierre Thomas on your football team when Darren Sproles goes down is a real luxury for the New Orleans Saints.
3rd and short. Brees over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Jimmy Graham, being blanketed by Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. So the Eagles do what they couldn't do last week in the opening drive. Stop the offense on 3rd down.
I think Jimmy Graham's got to make this play. It's a basic cross, 12 to 14 yards. He breaks inside. Ball's thrown slightly behind him. But Jimmy Graham made every one of those catches last year. He's been a little inconsistent catching the football. And that sets up Hartley for a long-range field goal.
Need a 53-yarder at Carolina. And Garrett Hartley out of Oklahoma tries this from 52. And it's wide left. Both teams moved the ball, had opportunities, but no points. Just about 10 minutes in, opening quarter. Second drive for Michael Vick and the Eagles. First drive, a lot of what we've seen this season for Vick and the Eagles.
He got hit 5 times in his first 9 passes. Cameron Jordan beats Kelly at right guard. Dunlap misses a block. Kelly again right up the middle. Michael Vick isn't going to take many more of these hits. And Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach, is not at all happy with his young center, Dallas Reynolds. Remember, when you have a young center that you go to at the midpoint of the season, defenses are going to challenge him with a lot of looks that he hasn't put on a card and practiced all week. So far, the Saints are getting after this Eagle offensive line.
Start from the 42 and swing out to Deshaun Jackson. Jason Avant blocking downfield on a gain of 5. So John, Michael Vick, for this entire season, so much talked about. We visited with him in the preseason. He talked about the anticipation. And when we sat with him last night, it almost felt like there were stop signs for Michael Vick. Don't turn it over. Don't get it hurt. Don't get hurt. And what's resulted in, they're just not turning it loose the way they are when they're effective.
Hard to do. A lot of quick passes given these circumstances.
They'll run with McCoy. A nice move by LeSean McCoy into Saints territory and a first down gain of 8.
That time Michael Vick does a great job audibling to a strong side stretch play. Here's a corner blitz, a linebacker blitzing off the weak side. Mike Vick says, let's run as far away from that blitz as we can. Nice job by Vick. Sensing the pressure, good adjustment on the sideline. I think Vick anticipates the game plan of the Saints now. He's going to be looking for one-on-one matchups and audibles.
Decent amount of Bryce Brown here in the first quarter. A nice cut by Brown. There goes the rookie out of Kansas State. Inside the 20, inside the 10, and it's first and goal for the Eagles as Bryce Brown gets his longest NFL run, a gain of 40.
Deshaun Jackson with a nice block, and if you're going to blitz us up the middle, we're going to toss the ball to the outside. Deshaun Jackson, number 10, is going to enter your screen, make a nice block, and it's just good cutback running by Bryce Brown. Excellent play selection by Philadelphia. They get hurt with the inside blitz. 2 outside runs have the Eagles in a first and goal.
Eagles in the red zone where too often they've settled for field goals this year. McCoy left, lost 2.
This is the area of the field that the New Orleans Saints have showed a lot of all-out blitzing. Look for Andy Reid to try to isolate one of his receivers or his tight end, Brent Selleck. But Steve Spagnuolo is known for not just blitzing down here in the tight red zone. He's known for bringing everybody he has.
You see their failures in the opening quarter, and on that touchdown drive against Baltimore, they took over at the 15-yard line of the Ravens. It wasn't really even a drive. Pressure shown by the Saints. Pressure comes. Vick puts it up, deflected and intercepted. Along the sideline, it's Patrick Robinson, who got a block, and Robinson is gone. It'll be 99-yard touchdown.
Exactly.
The flag back here at the 28-yard line, around where the block was occurring around Michael Vick.
How many times can Philadelphia turn the ball over in the tight red zone of their opponent? All-out blitz. Vick looks for his tight end, Selleck, and another catastrophe.
And off the hand of Selleck to Robinson, who was just waiting, and took it down the sideline. Now Michael Vick got involved in the post-play, trying to make a block, or make a tackle, I should say. That's what Clete Blakeman and his officiating crew are talking about here. Side Judge Greg Meyer in the most conversation with Blakeman. As you watch it, here's the call.
After the interception, personal foul, low block against the offense, number 7. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The result of the play, It's a touchdown.
So it officially will go down as a 98-yard interception return for Patrick Robinson, who gave up a couple of touchdowns last week and 2 deep balls against Denver. And as Vic goes low trying to make the tackle, he's the one flagged. And the Saints have taken the lead.
Andy Reid has to be sick. 13 times the Eagles have turned the ball over in their opponent's territory. Hard to overcome those.
There you see, it has always been the story of this year, the mistakes, turnovers that get credited to Vic, whether the fumbles or that pick in the red zone. Second red zone interception thrown. The extra point added by Garrett Hartley. It's one shy of the record. Darren Sharper had a 99-yard interception. I believe it was against Favre and the Jets in here. This one goes 98, the longest interception return in the NFL this year for Patrick Robinson. 7-0, New Orleans. Well, Steve Spagnuolo's defense finally comes up with a big play. The touchdown return for Patrick Robinson. And in break, they went back to what we originally said. It is 99 yards on the interception return. So it does tie Darren Sharper for the longest in Saints history. And the most important thing for Philadelphia is they're in a 7-0 hole. Really, on their first 2 drives, looked like they were going to come away with points. Kicking from the 50 because of the penalty. Hartley just, or rather Morstead just bangs it right through the uprights. No return.
Well, Steve Spagnuolo likes all-out blitz in the tight red zone. You're going to see Jenkins and you're going to see Harper apply the pressure. And Selleck, the tight end, is the primary receiver on a quick outside breaking route against the blitz. Ball's thrown slightly to the outside. And when you have tip passes in the middle of the field, it's a problem. Here's Selleck working against Casillas. Ball needs to be thrown, obviously, a little bit better than that. I've never seen so many horrific plays in the tight red zone than I've seen from Philadelphia in the first half of this season.
So they're back at it. Vic from the 20. It's a 5-yard throw for Selleck. Incomplete. You mentioned all the turnovers. That's the 18th of the year. Ties to 3rd most in the league. And so many of them happening red zone or on the plus territory. You're inside the opponent's 50, and many of them have happened because of Vic fumbles or picks. And as you said there, John, it's a tip, it's a deflection, but you got to make a better throw because it's so packed in there with people. 21st play of this opening quarter. McCoy's got the edge. LeSean McCoy made a nice extra move to stay in bounds and turn it into a gain of almost 14.
If you're going to blitz up the middle, you better have the perimeter part of your defense straight. You see Deuce Staley chawing with Malcolm Jenkins, and Todd Herremans, the right tackle, is injured.
Well, his team that has already lost 3/5 of its starting offense sees the veteran in his 8th year, Todd Herremans, who's only missed 1 start in the last 3 years. Not looking very good as he's heading off the field.
Andy Reid can't bear to watch. When you lose 1 lineman, it's a problem. Here comes Demetrius Bell, who struggled at left tackle. Be interesting to see what they do with Bell. Will they move him to right tackle, or will they flip Dunlap over?
Herremans is still limping off the field.
Here's Herremans at right tackle, number 79 on the backside on this cutoff block. Take a look at his lower body. Right ankle.
We always focus so much on the left tackle, Michael Vick, a lefty, so that right tackle spot becomes increasingly important. Now manned by Demetrius Bell, has started 4 times this year. Look at the opening for McCoy. Again, another big run, a great cut. McCoy with a flag down, comes down at the 31-yard line. 2 flags come down, which could eat into a 31-yard gain.
Jeremy Maclin may be guilty downfield blocking. Philadelphia is ripping New Orleans with their running game right now.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 18. 10-yard penalty. Still enough for a first down.
Macklin downfield.
Well, they run the stretch play. They used Deshaun Jackson on the ghost over the top. Let's see what Macklin did downfield. A good call.
He sounded very confident. He sold that.
Yeah.
He sold that.
Everything looks like a penalty in this high-speed slow-mo, Mike.
Harriman's in a great deal of pain. As the training staff looks at him, Bryce Brown is back in there at running back. He had a huge run on the last drive. And he bounces it to the outside. John, this Saints defense, they're giving up huge runs in this opening quarter.
Well, Michael Vick is running the ball with audibles. That time he sees the strong safety down. He checks to a weak side run, and Bryce Brown continues to pound. Nice job by Havili, the fullback, and Bryce Brown has got some strong lower body parts. I like the way this young back is hammering it up inside.
Eagles have already run for 100 yards against the Saints in this first quarter. McCoy trying to dance away from Jonathan Vilma, but could not. And a loss of a yard as the quarter comes to an end.
Boy, it's great to see Vilma back. Johnny Vilma's had the bounty issue we know about. He's also had a serious knee problem. Had no off season, no training camp, no preseason. He's learning a new defense. He comes back, and Curtis Lofton is playing his middle linebacker position. But here is a real New Orleans Saint. Great leader of this football team.
End of the quarter, dominated by the Eagles, but led by the Saints. Last quarter ended with a Jonathan Vilma tackle. Think you know the story. Suspended for the season initially for his alleged role as one of the leaders in that bounty scandal that happened from 2009 through 2011. This is his third game he's playing while the appeals process plays out. It's now in the hands of the courts and former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue. Remember, Roger Goodell, the current commissioner, recused himself from the appeal hearing, and that hearing with Paul Tagliabue should happen in the next couple of weeks, targeting a date of 2 weeks from now. As with the confusion and the substitutions made there, the clock is stopped and the officials will sort it out. But Paul Tagliabue today, by the way, denied the motion to recuse himself, so he's still going to be the next person to have a voice heard in the hearing. You know, Vilma still has civil litigation pending against the commissioner, Roger Goodell, the NFL. And I asked him, why does he continue to do that as this goes on? And he said, it's very simple. I want my good name back. Vilma has a 2-year-old daughter, and he said, his quote was, I don't want her to hear about the bounty scandal and suspension when my name's mentioned. I want her to hear what's been said about me for many years. I'm a smart, hardworking quarterback of the defense who's been a great player and a great guy in this league. Clete Blakeman, the official, gets everything sorted out here as the Eagles are over by their huddle. I mentioned that hearing going to happen in a couple of weeks. November 20 is the date that Paul Tagliabue has set. It's a very complex situation away from football. And for Vilma and Breeze, the leaders in this team, they've certainly had to bear the weight of that. We're not here to talk about who's guilty, what happened exactly. But when you look at this football team, the impacts are shown in some of these individuals, including a guy like Vilma. He's back on the field, as we said, for his third game here tonight. And timeout is charged to the Eagles. It's 3rd and 3. As Vick throws, it's complete, but a good wrap-up tackle by Vilma on Clay Harbor denies the first down.
That's the Jonathan Vilma I know. He's one of my favorite players. I studied him at Miami, Florida. He's been the same kind of player for as long as I can remember. This time they pick up the blitz, Philadelphia does, and Vilma rallies to his coverage and makes the tackle for no gain. 4th down, and Philly's going for it. Expect Michael Vick to use his legs in this situation. Andy Reid loves to throw the football in 4th and 1.
the 38, they'll run it. McCoy gets out of the would-be tackle by Harper. Into the secondary again. And LaShawn McCoy with a jump at the 5 is taken down after a gain of 33 yards.
And it should be a gain of no yards. Roman Harper, Jabari Greer, both with opportunities to stop LaShawn McCoy. And man, is he running hot. Right off the right side, Harper's got a shot. Watch, Jabari Greer's got a chance. That's just bad tackling. 3 missed tackles. And if you don't wrap up LaShawn McCoy, he will rip you. Great run by LaShawn McCoy.
He has 90 rushing yards already. A minute and a half into the second quarter. He needs a break. Bryce Brown is in. And he has almost no gain. Lisa Salters has an update on the sideline. Lisa.
Hey, Mike, another blow for the Eagles offensive line. Todd Harriman's injured just a short while ago. Went back to the back for x-rays. They're calling it an ankle/foot injury. His return is doubtful.
So Harriman's down, Lisa. As we mentioned earlier, Jason Kelce, the center, is out. The other starting offensive lineman on the right side, Danny Watkins, out with the ankle injury. And John mentioned Jason Peters before.
Better be ready for blitz. This is where Spagnuolo got him the last time.
At the 4, Vick shovel pass McCoy. No gain.
Well, Michael Vick presents the illusion that he's going to sprint to his left and throw the football. They're trying to get the linebackers to flow, and they'll pull the backside guard and just shovel it to the halfback. But Curtis Lofton, Casillas, they're having none of this. And once again, number 67, the right guard, young Dennis Kelly's having a hard time blocking New Orleans Saints.
Third and goal, Vick. End zone, no for Jackson with Roman Harper in the way.
Trying to get Deshaun Jackson on a quick short post inside the 5-yard line, and it's awfully tight. Michael Vick tries to stick it in there, but it's good defense by New Orleans. Watch Deshaun break across number 24, Corey White's face. Not much real estate to throw that pattern inside the 5. Good red zone defense. That's twice for New Orleans.
Alex Henry, second year out of Nebraska, short field goal attempt, 22 yards. And he knocks it through. The Saints have only had the ball for 2.5 minutes. But they have the lead because of a red zone turnover. And that time, first and goal at the 5 on the drive. First and goal at the 4. And they couldn't get it to Jackson. New Orleans, our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Saints on top 7-3, 3 minutes into this second quarter, and we haven't seen much Drew Brees.
No.
Game started about an hour ago. We saw Drew Brees for like 2 minutes, and he's been on the bench.
I'm sure Drew Brees is thrilled that his defense has made a big contribution in this first quarter.
Travaris Cadet fills the role of Sproles as the kick return man. And here comes the rookie Cadet. They'll bring it out to the 23-yard line, John.
Saints defense has got to handle the running game better, the Eagles. Watch Deshaun Jackson on the ghost, and Curtis Lofton is taking his eyes off of the running play and looking at Deshaun, and they get hurt bad with a stretch play. There's no one there. Then just count the missed tackles. 1. Cutback, there's 2. Another cutback, there's 3 missed tackles. You're going to see a 4th and a 5th. 5 missed tackles, that won't cut it. They've given up 140 yards rushing and only 3 points. Hard to believe.
You see only 6 plays in 2.5 minutes. This is the second possession for Brees and the Saints. And they begin to let Chris Ivory run across the 30-yard shot of the first down, and the fans react.
I'm one of the fans. I've been waiting for Chris Ivory. Everybody's talking about Ingram and the running play. Just slam this big 220-pound back right off the right side. He's got over 1,000 yards in his 2-year career here. I don't care if he's from Tiffin College or not, and he's backing up the Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram. The best back should play, and I think Chris Ivory gives the Saints something they've been lacking.
First time he's touched it. this year. Breeze shot down the field, looking for Devery Henderson. Incomplete. Nnamdi Asomugha with the coverage.
The defensive coordinator Todd Bowles was talking about this action, this play action bomb protection that the Saints use. They slide the fullback across the formation and they fake the ball to Ivory, and they generate a lot of down the field vertical offense, and they use their jets. And there's a great play by Nnamdi Asomugha, one of the corners we talked about in the pregame, Mike, that needs to step up. That time the veteran Cal Berkeley-Bear did a great job.
Took the shot on second and short, and on third and short, the former Heisman winner, Mark Ingram, bowling forward for the first down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, I think the Saints got to get excited about some 4, 5, and 6-yard runs. When they won their Super Bowl in 2009, they got after you with Mike Bell in a very strong, underestimated running game. And I think Mark Ingram, Chris Ivory, two downhill backs that'll really benefit by getting some carries. They just don't run the ball much here in New Orleans.
Well, they keep the extra offensive lineman Charles Brown out there. The blocking tight end. First and 10, here is a back-to-back run, and it's Ingram, and he's running hard for the first down. It's Eagle territory.
There's a Heisman Trophy winner. He saw Ivory come in and steal his show. He said, put me back in the game. That time an inside zone, he cuts it back. He runs right over Nnamdi Asomugha. Watch him cut it back. Number 24 is going to show up on your right side. Take that, Asomugha. And he breaks another tackle, and he moves the pile. 5 Philadelphia Eagles it takes to stop Mark Ingram. That's why they traded up in the first round to get the former Heisman Trophy winner for runs like that.
Gain was 23. His play is just late getting to the line. Drew Brees, a full-service quarterback. His left guard, Ben Grubbs, lost his shoe. Brees untied it, got it ready for Grubbs to put on and block. Jimmy Graham's got a catch. Yard shy of the first down at the 30.
How'd you like to beat David Sims? Starting your first game ever at the safety position. Nate Allen's out, and you got to play against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Here's just an outside breaking route. David Sims pressed into service, does a nice job making an open field tackle. Keep an eye on the young safety man.
First snaps at safety. Nate Allen out, hamstring injury. To the tight end, back to Graham in front of the linebacker Michael Kendricks. First down.
Well, Drew Brees has got it going now. If you give Drew Brees a running game and they get some kind of balance, they can be unstoppable. Just look at the numbers they put up in the last few years. It's an array of formations, personnel groupings. They change the tempo on a snap-by-snap basis, and Drew Brees will research the Eagle defense, and he will make sure that this offense runs a play into an optimum look. He won't waste the snap.
To Ivory, winding it back at the 15. Look at him hit it. Ivory touchdown.
There you go. That's what we talked about in the pregame, Mike. Drew Brees just needs a little bit of help. From his defense, check that off. And from his running game, double check. Mark Ingram and Chris Ivory just took it to the Philadelphia Eagles. That time a counter play. They love to run it to the right side behind Jari Evans. And look at Drew Brees. He sees the perfect look. He runs the counter back to the right side. Here comes his friend Ivory. And there's the safety we just talked about. Number 21, David Sims, is going to have his hands full for the next 45 minutes.
Extra point, doinked in. Hartley almost missed that one over to the right. Chris Ivory, people were calling for him, making his season debut, making it count. 11-point lead for New Orleans. Great folks at the American Red Cross were so instrumental down here post-Katrina, and now doing their amazing work, life-saving services, meals, shelter, mobilizing resources and workers nationwide after Superstorm Sandy up in the Atlantic. You can text Red Cross to 90999 or visit redcross.org. $10 donation. So many folks without power, as you've undoubtedly heard through the last week, as they continue to fight back and try to get some normalcy back in their lives. The folks here sympathize, and they have you in their thoughts as well. Team 3 Saints. Great weapon. Thomas Morstead, another unreturnable kick. Eagles back on the field. Saints have run 13 plays and have 14 points. Hope you get out and have your voice heard tomorrow, Election Day 2012. Eagles have moved it well. Only 3 to show for it. And LeSean McCoy already close to 100 yards in his first half, gains 5. That'll give him 95. So the opening drive was 14 plays, a couple of mistakes with penalties, and a big sack that forced a punt. Second drive turned into that interception of the pick 6. Last drive, a long drive, but a field goal as the red zone issues continue for Philly. Second and 5, Vick on the run. They're taking off for the first down as he gets past the 30-yard line.
That's a great job by Michael Vick. Philadelphia is trying to run a screen pass to LeSean McCoy. And McCoy's not going to get out. I think Casillas just grabs McCoy, so there's nobody for Vick to throw the ball. Laughlin grabs him, and Michael Vick says, I'll be the screening back and run it myself. That's good heads-up football by Vick. And McCoy's an outstanding receiver, Mike. We can't lose sight of that as this game unfolds.
28 catches this year. Tied with Brent Selleck, second on this team. Number 31, Vick's got space to fire, and it's complete. Clay Harbor has been a busy target. First down.
Andy Reid does a great job. Marty Morningwig, the offensive coordinator, with bunch formations. They're going to scatter 3 receivers out of here, and they're all going to go different directions. But good pass protection by this Eagle offensive line, and Mike Vick finally gets a chance to step up in the pocket and finish on his front foot. Good route, good protection, nice execution.
McCoy shy of midfield and over 100 yards. Sean McCoy only 120 rushing yards in the last 3 games. This guy was the all-pro running back in the NFL. He led the league with 20 overall touchdowns, 17 on the ground. With that offensive line you keep pointing out, all the hits Vick is taking, it's impacted McCoy's ability to get open spaces, but not tonight. Riley Cooper back from the collarbone injury. He's in the game as Bryce Brown seeks space and is stopped by Jabari Greer off the corner, and a late flag comes down as Broderick Bunkley, the former Eagle first rounder, now with the Saints, is injured.
They're going to get Riley Cooper for a crack block here. He and Roman Harper going after each other.
Bunkley, big free agent contract here with New Orleans this year, was with Denver last year.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, blindside hit, offense, number 14, 15-yard penalty, still second down.
And they'll take time out to look at the injured Bunkley after the penalty on Cooper. Roger Bunkley, they looked at him on the sideline, getting his helmet back on and ready to go. 77 Bunkley coming in to make the tackle. He missed it and ended up landing head first. And they checked his neck area, tested his strength. He said he was good to go, so the doc, so he's back up on the sideline. Second and 18 from the 35, and here's Vick. Stepping up, got away from one man and slings it out. Stanley Havili out of USC. A gain of 7. John, you were looking at that penalty during the timeout to bring Jerry Austin back in. The penalty that was called on Riley Cooper.
Cooper is flanked out to the left. He goes back inside. The new rule says blocking back towards your goal, the blind side. This is a legal block. It's not high. Just comes in and blocks back toward the goal line.
He's blocking in the direction they were going.
Blocking in the direction they're going.
Offensively.
Illegal block.
Thank you, Jerry. Third and 11, empty backfield for Vic. Corey White showing pressure, bailing out of there. Vic had to get rid of it quick, and it's incomplete as Michael took another hit from Cameron Jordan.
Well, you're going to take hits when you're in a no-back set and they blitz it. That time they cause some confusion. You're going to see a free rusher off the right side, but clearly the Saints are blitzing this no-back set, and Mike Vick needs to know the outside rusher is unaccounted for. Nice job by Vick throwing it away, but that's not what you want on 3rd and 11. But once again, Mike, the penalty on Riley Cooper, which I'm hearing wasn't a penalty, doomed that drive.
A couple of times for Philadelphia. Matt McBriar looking to Travaris Cadet. Their catch signal, and he comes up, and the rookie at Appalachian State gets it right around the 25. Just under 5 left in the half. Breeze on the field, up 11. It's up 11, two of the big names at quarterback in the NFL. Proud to tell you that they are listed at 6 feet. Top 2 quarterbacks taken in the draft of 2001. And also on their really second stop for very different reasons. You see their numbers so far. The 1 interception by Vick off the hands of Brent Selleck into the waiting arms of Patrick Robinson. A 99-yard pick 6 on Vick. So while Philadelphia has controlled the ball and has had most of the rushing yards, good last drive by Drew Brees. They paid it off when they got close. Philly did not. That's why we're sitting on an 11-point lead for the 2 and 5 Saints. Drive starts at 26. Couple of good runs on the last drive from Mark Ingram, and another nice one here as he spins along the sideline. So it's been Mark Ingram and Chris Ivory running well.
Well, you hear about that 9 technique that Philadelphia runs, the guy that plays on the outside shoulder of the tight end. That time, Charles Brown releases to the inside of the 9 technique. Jed Collins kicks it out. It's a beautiful scheme run. And number 21, David Sims, who's pressed into service, has to make that tackle. Tough assignment for a young safety playing against the Saints.
Breeze over the middle. It's caught, and the tackle is made by Sims, but a half second late on Jimmy Graham. First down at the 45.
Jimmy Graham works the middle of the field as well as any tight end in football. Good pass protection. Drew Brees goes right through his progression, makes a pinpoint throw to his big tight end. This is the go zone, Mike, for New Orleans. They're ready for another shot after the way they've been running the football.
Brees looking deep, flag down. Contact in the secondary brings another one. We certainly have a flag on the Eagles and Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. And back by Brees. We'll see if there was a hold.
You can almost just feel the Saints when they're about to light the fuse and go deep. That time they go after him with a double move to Lance Moore. A lot of flags out there, Mike. Maybe we'll bring Jerry in again.
This one will be offsetting in all likelihood. If the hold's on the
There are
Saints.
fouls against both teams on the play. Holding, offense, number 64. Pass interference, defense, number 23. Those penalties offset will replay first down.
Second pass interference on Rodgers-Cromartie, although this one won't be enforced. It's a Saints team that has lost their first 4 games, and they were close leads. And Carolina, up until yesterday, only had 1 win. It was against the Saints. Kansas City only has 1 win. It came against the Saints. Ivory, right past Asamoah. He missed the arm tackle. Jason Babin finally gets him at the 46.
This is a fast flow Philadelphia Eagle defense. The linebackers attack. In that time, they start one way, a design cutback, and Ivory takes it off the right side. But again, you're going to see some missed tackles off here on the right side. I thought Colston, number 12, got away with a holding call here. But again, Nnamdi Asamoah struggling in the open field as a tackler.
Second and short. Saints love deep passes on these plays. Jimmy Graham. Kurt Coleman trying to rip it away, but he's no Charles Tillman from Chicago. First down at the 39.
You know, when you have a fast wide receiver like Devery Henderson, use him. That time he's in a tight split. He's going to come flying out of here and clear out the deep zone, and Jimmy Graham gets a one-on-one with Kurt Coleman. Saints do a great job using their personnel. If you're fast, you're going deep. If you're a big physical target, you're working the middle of the field, and Drew Brees will find you.
From the 29, Pierre Thomas got away from Trent Cole. Got a nice block from Jermon Bushrod. Has another first down at the 10.
Well, this is a very creative shotgun draw. Their Pro Bowl left tackle, Jermon Bushrod, is going to make Trent Cole think he's going to pass protect, lure him up the field, and then go get the linebacker on the second level. Bushrod does a great job against Cole, who went to the inside. How about that block on Kurt Coleman on the second level? Oh, Bushrod still blocking people.
Takes us to the 2-minute warning, and now New Orleans rushing numbers going up. And the Eagles trying to avoid going down by 18 in the first half. Toyota halftime show coming up with Chris Berman. We usually say it's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen, but we upgrade tonight. Interview with President Obama and Governor Romney on the eve of the election. Coming up on the Toyota halftime show. Up 11 with the ball. Drew Brees and the Saints running it well. Running Pierre Thomas right into the goal line. And stopped just shy. One last pull back keeps Thomas from a touchdown.
Ben Grubbs on a trap play just unloads. It's almost like Philadelphia has never seen some of these runs. Watch the left guard pull and trap Thornton. I mean, these are clinic real runs. I mean, this is unbelievable the way these Saints backs have stepped up with Sproles out of the football game. But this offensive line, they got to be loving this. It's been a long time since this Saint offensive line has been able to come off and block.
Second and goal, Brees. 51 straight games with a touchdown pass. Marcus Colston on this one.
What great design by the Saint coaching staff. And you fake a toss crack on the 2-yard line, you're going to get a response from the defense. But Marcus Colston beat Nnamdi Asomugha easily on the backside over route. You're going to see on the backside, Colston in motion is going to come on a crossing route. Nnamdi Asomugha got picked off by the referee, and it happens a lot when you play with Saints, believe me. These veteran receivers, they know how to use every advantage they can get.
Darren Hartley able to knock through the extra point, and the Saints are rolling. The Eagles are reeling, especially on defense. 21-3, New Orleans. About a month ago in here, he broke the record against San Diego, and now continues to extend it out. 51 straight games with a touchdown pass. Broke Johnny Unitas' record against his old team, the San Diego Chargers, and Drew Brees won on Monday night here, rewrote history in terms of the passing yardage record, breaking Dan Marino's mark a season ago. First look at a potential return, but thinking better of it, Riley Cooper stopped Brandon Boykin. So the touchdown was to Colston. That's the 54th time. It's hard to believe that a 7th-round pick, the 4th to last pick out of the draft out of Hofstra, Marcus Colston, is up there with Montana and Rice, Marino and Duper. They're 11th in the history of the NFL in touchdown tosses. Brees to Colston. That's, I bet you didn't know.
I know, because he caught a lot of those against me. It's about time he gets some credit. He needs to go to a Pro Bowl. Talented, disciplined, team-oriented, tough guy.
Philadelphia 2 timeouts and 73 seconds left. And the Saints get the ball to start the second half. And Vick almost intercepted. Step away was Isa Abdul Quddus out of Fordham.
Quddus wearing that number 42. You start remembering guys like Darren Sharper that wore that number. He needs to make that interception. Vick is late down the middle to Selleck. He sees it all the way. Philadelphia's got to be real careful here. Speaking of Sharper.
Yep. Second and 10, they rushed 3, and on the sideline, Jason Avant tried to get out of bounds, did not. The gain is limited. It'll be third and about 6 in Philadelphia. Let's see, timeout taken by New Orleans. New Orleans takes a timeout with 59 seconds until halftime. Saints Roman Harper is on the field defending Michael Vick. He put a sleeve on his knee. Injured that a bit on the last drive. Junior Gillette injured his ankle. His return questionable for New Orleans. Saints have only allowed 3 points, and their defense has put up 7. Much maligned defense. On 3rd and 6, Vick too tall for Avant, and New Orleans will get the ball back with a timeout right about 50 seconds after the kick.
And Avant is wide open once again. Michael Vick flat on his back. And this Philadelphia Eagle offense, again, they rack up yardage. They have over 200 yards, just 3 points. They came in here tonight with over 360 yards a game, Mike, and only 17 points. They have to learn how to translate these yards into points.
And in a hurry, Matt McBriar with the kick. Lance Moore's got it, 22. Return of about 3, so the Saints will have 43 seconds left. Our whole family at ESPN, just so sad to hear the passing of our friend Jim Durham, the voice of the NBA on ESPN radio. Since we got started in 1996, voice of the Bulls. He had the great call of Jordan over Elo when the Bulls beat the Cavs in the playoffs. Dallas Mavericks as well. Jim passed away at his home just outside of Houston over the weekend, 65 years old. JD could make a broadcast come to life like nobody else. And our thoughts with Jim's family, all of us who've worked with him at ESPN, adore the man. And he's a Hall of Famer and will be sorely missed. Saints take over with one timeout. Breeze complete to Colston, first down, 36.
Philadelphia's got to rush the passer. They got the A-team out there. Babin, Cole, no pass rush at all. Drew Brees, 3 hitches, no problem.
Got to go quick, try to get in field goal range. Breeze throwing incomplete as the Eagles covered everything downfield. And finally, Cole, after some coverage, knocked down Breeze.
Very important that the Philadelphia Eagles go to the locker room and stop the bleeding. Drew Brees with 21 seconds left. He's going to work the inside part of the field. They've got to be alert for a screen pass. But they need to rev up this rush. Cole with here and Babin here need to pay off.
There's the screen. Pierre Thomas made a nice catch on the sideline. Got himself out of bounds. It's only at the 40. It's a minimal gain. They need 7 more for a first down with just 16 seconds left.
I heard them in the press box over there call that screen, Mike.
He did. No, he's just in that dark room watching film.
3rd and 6. Drew Brees loves to use these dummy snap counts to try to read the mail of the Philadelphia defense and get the Saints in a great play based on what the Eagles' coverage is.
Brees about to get hit. And as Babin had his arms around Brees' ankle, the pass was thrown incomplete with 11 seconds left. So both teams get it under 2 and not able to make much happen.
It's an important get off by the Eagles. They needed that stop desperately. Babin that time working hard to finish the play. Gets it done against Zach Strief. And Deshaun Jackson's deep, Mike. A couple years ago against the New York Giants. I remember some magic.
Deshaun Jackson has 4 career punt return touchdowns. That game ender at the Meadowlands. This is a terrific punter. And Thomas Morstead, who's combining distance and net and is having one of the better punting seasons in recent memory. Didn't let Jackson get his hands on it there. And it stopped at the 22-yard line. Oh, this first half of disappointment for the Eagles. Driving for what looked to be a touchdown off the hand of Selleck. Patrick Robinson gets it. Ties a Saints record, 99 yards. Longest interception return of the year. Then Chris Ivory after a Philadelphia field goal with a 22-yard score. They had 3 20-plus yard runs on that drive. And Brees took Colston, a drive ago. That was 7 plays and 74 yards. And Joe Vitt, the interim coach, along with Drew Brees, trying to get this ship righted. Of course, Aaron Cromer, the offensive line coach, was the head coach for the first 6 games. Vitt had a 6-game suspension to serve. And he came right back to the office, ready to work. 4 seconds left. The Eagles are just going to run it with McCoy and lose 2 yards as we get to halftime. 21-3, New Orleans leads Philadelphia. The Saints get the ball to start the second. Now here's Chris Berman with the Toyota halftime show. Boomer. First half that the Eagles didn't play all that poorly in terms of moving the ball. They only have 3 points to show for it. New Orleans gets it. Up 18, 21-3. And John, it's been part of the story throughout the year for the Eagles. Move the ball effectively, but not getting the points to show for it.
It's a hard pill to swallow. Red zone turnovers in the story of this season.
The Saints at 2-5, trying to win their 3rd in their last 4 on the line drive. Here comes Travaris Cadet, and the rookie takes it to the 21-yard line. So it was a New Orleans team that has been pass happy, needed to get the run going, and we've seen all their running backs play and play effectively tonight.
Yeah, after watching New Orleans, I just felt like Brees needed a little bit of help. And when you can run the ball, that's a quarterback's best friend. How about Mark Ingram running over about 7 Philadelphia Eagles? That got the crowd in the game, and then a beautiful cutback run by Chris Ivory, and the Saints are in business. Pierre Thomas, 3 very good backs that are distinctly different, and Drew Brees has a chance to put Philadelphia away.
First down, first throws, swinging it out. Here's Ivory out of the backfield. Is pulled down by Jason Babin violently, but legally with a gain of a couple of yards. The 3 backs in the first half. And again, no Darren Sproles tonight because of the broken hand. 3, 4, and 3 on the carries, but everybody's getting big chunks of yards. The 3 20-plus yard runs by New Orleans backs here tonight, as they've been able to put up 106 rushing yards and 10 carries.
5-9. Yellow ready. Yellow waiting. Yellow waiting. Ready. I'm ready. West side.
There's another run up the middle with Ingram. He gains a couple of yards. And the Eagles trying to get a 3 and out here to start. Trent Cole with the tackle. John, that play selection so important for Philadelphia. 10 runs, 15 passes in that first half.
Yeah, New Orleans is doing a great job running the ball differently. That time a trap play right up the inside. They love to pull their left guard, Ben Grubbs, and they love to run right behind their right guard, Jari Evans. Big 3rd down.
Brees on the slant. It's Graham for the first down again in front of the safety. David Sims is playing for the injured Nate Allen.
That's stealing. Drew Brees uses motion to read the coverage. Watch, he's going to come across in motion. The corner is going to run with Lance Moore, and Brees sees Jimmy Graham one-on-one coverage with the safety, number 21, that's never played. He says, hey, let's go after him right now. He goes to the protection. Jimmy Graham gets the one-on-one. That's what Drew Brees does for you. He eats you alive.
36-yard line, Ivory stopped back on his side of the line. Loss of a yard or 2 on the first contact, and they push us forward towards the line of scrimmage. You mentioned that safety, David Sims, who's playing for Nate Allen. Sims was at Butte Community College in California and at Iowa State. He's a guy who after high school didn't get those offers, wasn't looking at college football. So he was working a garbage truck, waste management. Overnight, he was stocking a Sam's Club. He's bounced around to the Giants in Cleveland. Eagles traded for him. His camp came to an end, and here he is trying to stop Jimmy Graham tonight. Brees complete. Marcus Colston right near midfield.
There's no pass rush. And that's what Jim Washburn, the defensive line coach, is famous for. Get me guys that can rush the passer. Watch Drew Brees fake the ball to Ingram and just bounce his feet. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Colston has plenty of time to uncover against this zone defense. If you don't get pressure on Drew Brees, it'll be a miserable night in Philadelphia.
Ready, what's up?
Travaris Cadet coming around on the run. Cadet inside the 20. Travaris Cadet with a flag down. Takes the dive by the 6. But all the Saints offensively are standing right back where that flag is at the 46-yard line. It would have been 45 yards.
Philip Hunt, number 76, in as a backup.
Holding. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Over pursued that play. They don't have a 17. Robert Meacham is gone, but I think it's on Colston right here blocking the perimeter.
He's had a tug of the jersey of Nnamdi Asomugha as Cadet ran by. That was the first time Cadet had run the ball from scrimmage. That would have been his first run of his career, but instead erased by the penalty.
Fourth penalty on a wide receiver in this game for blocking on the perimeter. Not often that you see that call that often.
4 down, 159, ready, 20 seconds.
First and 15 as the Eagles rush 4 out of the backfield. Pierre Thomas for the first down. 35-yard line.
I don't know what Philadelphia is playing on defense, but when you don't cover Pierre Thomas, you're going to get gashed. Pierre Thomas comes out of the backfield on a little wheel route, and I don't know if Kendricks is supposed to cover him or you're supposed to cover him, Mike Tirico, but somebody better cover him. All these formations, this tempo is ripping the Philadelphia Eagles right now. They can't find their coverage. They can't find the ball. And it's important they make a play defensively quickly.
Michael Kendricks is their second-round pick out of Cal. To the left goes Thomas. As this Eagles defense is being run over and run through. We mentioned Todd Bowles, who took over as the interim coach in Miami back when Tony Sparano was fired. Was the DB coach here this year. Had interviewed for the defensive coordinator job earlier before Juan Castillo was hired. You've probably heard Castillo, the former offensive line coach, was the DC for a year and a half. He was replaced at the bye week by Bowles. So the Philly defense give up scores on their first 6 drives in the loss to Atlanta last week. And the Saints picking them apart here tonight. Breeze. That time the pass of Graham was broken up by David Sims.
They get in the red zone fringe, the area right outside the +20. They're going to take shots. And they used Devery Henderson to come in motion and secure the backside. Here comes Jed Collins, and once again, they're going to fake the ball to Ingram, max protect the backside, and come up firing. Great play by the young safety, David Sims, but you see what offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael's trying to do. Max protect and throw shots to Jimmy Graham against the young safety.
3rd and 6 for Breeze. In stride, Colston. What a perfect throw. Gain of 21, first down, New Orleans at the 9.
It's a lot of great things there. Pass protection. You're in a no-back set. Let's get Breeze the protection he needs. Let's nudge with Jimmy Graham and Pierre Thomas. Let's help these tackles. And Drew Brees has plenty of time to step up in the pocket and make a perfect throw. And Nnamdi Asomugha says, what do you want me to do? Marcus Colston. How do you not like a guy like Marcus Colston that can play 5 different positions and run every route in the route tree?
What a throw by Breeze. Back at it again. Lost the football. It's laying right in front of Brandon Graham, who picks it up, and that's a huge turnover forced by the Philadelphia defense. Just its 9th of the year as the pass rush forced Breeze to spit it out.
Well, Travaris Cadet blows the route. Drew Brees doesn't have anywhere to throw the ball, and number 54, Brandon Graham, may have just changed this game.
Good to be back in New Orleans here. What a turn of events as Brandon Graham came off the edge to help get the ball back for the Eagles in an 18-point hole. First drive of the half for Vic. Macklin ruled a catch on the far side.
A lot of quick passing, a lot of quick passing. That's what they did last week against the Falcons. You have 4 starters on your offensive line that are out. And coming off the bye week, last week against the Falcons, Andy Reid told us it's as conservative as I've ever been as a head coach, but you have to make some concessions when you have a lot of new linemen playing out of position.
LaShawn McCoy, the back. Vick with space, looking to launch, goes the other way, wide open, Jackson. Deshaun Jackson with a move in the open field, and Jackson with a race towards the goal and in. Touchdown, huge turn, 77 yards.
Come back to your television sets. Number 21. Patrick Robinson really struggles finding his coverage. They blow it in the secondary. Michael Vick comes right out of this naked bootleg, and no one covered Deshaun Jackson. Inexcusable error. I don't know what the coverage is, but they blow it. They blitz, and no one covered him. An amazing error in a 21-3 ball game, but you don't want to make a mistake against Deshaun Jackson.
Extra point added by Alex Henry. So Deshaun Jackson, who has made a huge mark in his first 4.5 years of the big play touchdown, brings up 77 yards. His second receiving touchdown of the year. Eagles back in it. Well, now it's the turn of Steve Spagnuolo. That's a picture Saints fans have seen quite often this year. What were you doing? Where were you supposed to be? Patrick Robinson, why weren't you there?
And I know Sean Payton, the head coach of the Saints, is sitting somewhere watching this, and he is asking himself a lot of questions about that play.
The line drive, returnable kick for Travaris Cadet. He lost the football. It's still free, and at the bottom of the pile, David Sims, I think, might be there for Philly.
Wow.
Eagles ball on the turnover.
Here comes the Philadelphia Eagles. This is like a Rocky Balboa script.
They give Curtis Marsh 31, not 21 Sims, as it was forced out by the running back, Chris Polk.
Put a young player in key positions. You better remember, in the big leagues, you better protect the ball. Great job poking it out by Chris Polk, the former running back of the Washington Huskies. He makes an impact play here on special teams in Philadelphia. Finish a red zone drive.
Well, we're talking about Darren Sproles and his kickoff returns. He's the main guy for the Saints in kickoff returns. So Cadet, the rookie, getting his opportunity. And that was a line drive returnable kick that he brought out and spit out. Recovery credited to Brandon Hughes, caused by Chris Polk. 2 turnovers in a minute. Vick taken off. Michael Vick on the run inside of 10. First and goal, Philadelphia at the 7.
That looked like RG3 in week 1. Shotgun, play action, looking for a seam route. He's going to stick the ball in Deshaun's stomach. Nobody's open down the field. How about that elusiveness? Michael Vick must protect himself and the ball. He does both. Big first down.
Looked like Michael Vick we saw in here January 2000 when he was a freshman at Virginia Tech. Take it and take off. Playing that national championship game against Florida State in this building. First and goal. Vick, nothing there. Throws it away in the red zone. Will Smith flushing.
Don't know what that route was. Deshaun Jackson working against Patrick Robinson on some kind of double move. It was like a stutter fly stop. New Orleans does a nice job knocking these eligibles out of the end zone, much like they did a couple weeks ago in Tampa, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, Vick was out of the pocket when they did that, and that allowed that touchdown by Tampa Bay at the end of their furious comeback to not count. Perfectly legal move when the quarterback's out of the pocket. Second and goal into the middle of the field open there. Vick, the pressure gets to him. Will Smith with the sack.
This is just incredible to me. You're in a no-back set. You have 5 blockers. It's clearly an automatic all-out blitz. Nobody is assigned to block. You only have 5 protectors. You're going to be short. And Mike Vick either needs to audible or throw the ball away, but another catastrophic pass protection error by the Philadelphia Eagles in the scoring zone. Unbelievable.
Third and goal. Vick, end zone shot. Too tall for Jackson, for Macklin.
They call this Dino in Philadelphia. It's a double end. They clear out the deep zone with Deshaun Jackson, and they try to isolate Jeremy Macklin on a double end. He's going to run to the post, back to the corner, and then back to the post. Had a chance. Ball's a little high. Third trip in the red zone. They'll be lucky to get 6 points, Mike.
Alex Henry from 37 makes his 13th consecutive field goal for Philadelphia. Cadet fumbled the kickoff return. Philly had it first and goal for the third time. Second time they couldn't get a touchdown. They got 3. Well, so many folks watching back in the Philadelphia area have homes or friends on the Jersey Shore. So many areas crushed by Superstorm Sandy. American Red Cross providing meals, shelter, mobilizing resources. You can help redcross.org or text Red Cross to 90999. And you can give a $10 donation. And all the first responders and all the people who have mobilized to try and help, especially our friends devastated on the Jersey Shore. A lot of Eagle fans who are watching here tonight, thinking of you. Pierre Thomas goes back for this kickoff after the Cadet fumble last time around. Thomas will bring it out from 7 deep. And a nice return to the 30-yard line. And we talk about Darren Sproles and his impact, John, of what he provides to the Saints beyond a sure-handed kick return.
Well, they're used to throwing his halfback choice to Darren Sproles. He comes out of the backfield. He wins every time. He gashes people with his halfback choice. But Cadet, he's not quite Darren Sproles. He doesn't get it done, and the pocket collapses on Drew Brees, and this is what caused the fumble. A little bit is not having Darren Sproles. And then you fumble the kickoff. They missed number 43.
It's Ivory running, and there comes Asamoah off the corner to start it. And D'Amico Ryans, we have not called the name of the linebacker that they traded for from Houston.
That's what we need from Nnamdi Asamoah. Impact the game at crunch time. Intercept the pass. Make a vicious tackle. They paid a lot of money to get the ex-Oakland Raider to push the Philadelphia Eagles over the top. And now it's time.
Like 5'9". You ready, my son?
Mark Ingram's now the back, and Brees will throw on second down. Ingram out of the backfield, past Ryans, first down. Mark Ingram to the 44.
Checkdowns. D'Amico Ryans needs to hug that check down better than that. If there's too much space between you and the check down and you're a middle linebacker, you're going to have a hard time covering Ingram on this check down. Good pass protection. It allows Brees to get there. D'Amico looked bad there.
9-5. You ready, my son?
The 44, fake to Thomas. Brees getting away, throwing on the run. That is perfect, and that's a lot of the work they do after practice, day after day here in New Orleans. Devery Henderson, the reception.
And Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie's the other well-known acquisition of this Philadelphia Eagles secondary. That time, Devery Henderson does a great job coming out of his break and running back downhill for the completion against the former Arizona Cardinal. But these two veteran corners, one of the two of them needs to make a dynamic play for this Eagles secondary.
Chris Ivory now the running back. Met in the backfield by David Sims, and that rookie who's been picked on trying to cover Jimmy Graham makes a play on the other side of the line.
I love what Todd Bowles is doing right now. He's blitzing and challenging the New Orleans Saints. Strong safety blitz right off the right side. You'll see Nnamdi Asamoah clean up, but Sims is unaccounted for. He wraps up. He's holding on. He gets help from his veteran corner. Nice play.
A lot of those Sims tackles have been after first downs by Graham, who's made 2 good plays this second half. Trent Cole standing in the middle of the defense as they stunt hit Breeze, but he still throws to Lance Moore at the 30-yard line. First down gain of 23.
What a play by Drew Brees. They moved the two defensive ends inside to get away from these nudgers. Look, they put Cole, they put Babin inside. They have the big fellows on the outside, but watch Lance Moore on the right side of your screen uncover against Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. That's two pro football players on the same page. Brees and Lance Moore. What a route.
Mark Ingram. 7 yards, hard yards, and Ingram has looked good tonight. You know, a lot of folks around here were critical of Mark Ingram. Saturday, hour or so away in Baton Rouge, LSU and Alabama had their what's now annual terrific game, and there was Ingram on the sideline after the Alabama winning drive, all fired up for the freshman who scored the touchdown for Bama, the running back. And LSU fans and Saints fans, a lot of the same folk, and they were unhappy. Their Saints players rooting for Bama.
I can't blame them. You got to learn from that.
The guy did win the Heisman, but they're cheering for him tonight. This is one of the better nights Ingram's had this year. 2nd and 3, Breeze. Ingram again, second catch out of the backfield on this drive.
All go special. 4 verticals with Ingram working underneath. This is a great night for Mark Ingram. He's going to work underneath. They're looking down the field for one of these 3 seam balls, but Ingram is graduating to another level in the passing game. Great to see from the second-year running back from Alabama, making plays in the running game and the passing game.
And now Pierre Thomas. John, do you like what they're doing with the rotation of backs? They're using, as you said right in the beginning, all 3 that are veterans for this team.
I think it's hard to be a running back for the New Orleans Saints. These must be real smart, unselfish backs. Usually a back wants back-to-back runs, or they want to see the same scheme twice in a row. Not these guys. They come in and they run a play. And they do a heck of a job.
Zach Strief, the right tackle for the Saints, is shaken up. Medical staff looking at the captain. The staff looking at Zach Strief, who walked off under his own power. Replaced at right tackle by Charles Brown, the second-round pick out of USC 3 years ago. It's the second down for Breeze. Looks the space and throws over the middle, incomplete. Lance Moore is looking for a flag. And one comes in very, very late.
Late flag. Little jerk route here. He's going to show his numbers to the quarterback and try to beat Kendricks. He got grabbed.
Holding. Defense. The 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's what they do in these no-back sets. They spread you out, they flood zones, and they get Lance Moore on a little jerk route one-on-one against a linebacker. You'd hold too, Mike, if you were a linebacker and you had all that grass to cover against Lance Moore. Great job by the Saint coaching staff isolating their best against your weak link in coverage.
Travaris Cadet back in the game. Here he comes in motion. Give it up the middle with Thomas. Pierre turns for a yard or 2.
This Philadelphia Eagle defense needs to step up here. This is a veteran free agent crowd. Just look in that huddle. Colin Jenkins, D'Amico Ryans, Asamoah, Cromartie. These aren't raised Philadelphia Eagles. Jason Babin, they come from all parts of the NFL, and it's time for them to come together and get a critical stop when they need it.
5-9, yellow ready. Yellow ready, yellow ready. Ready.
This Colston tight to the formation on the right. Breeze looking, swinging it out. Graham. Great move. Touchdown, New Orleans.
That's why Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback. What he did there is amazing. Isolation, play pass. They're looking for Colston on a short post, and he has incredible poise to reset and find Jimmy Graham on a check down. That's big time. He's not throwing the ball to Graham. He's looking for Colston. Unbelievable football awareness by Drew Brees.
point added by Garrett Hartley. 22 touchdowns now on the season. Passes by Drew Brees. 5th time he hooks up with the tight end Jimmy Graham. 15 points the lead for the Saints. .15 Saints lead after the turnover earlier. They gave Philadelphia a big chance for a score. Of course, this Superdome was reopened in 2006 after Hurricane Katrina. Michael Vick was quarterbacking the Falcons. They went 3 and out, and then on the punt, Steve Gleason came in and blocked that punt, and Curtis DeLoach scored the touchdown. It was part of just a very emotional day and night in New Orleans as the Superdome was reopened after Katrina. First game back. Some of these players who are here are still on this Saints team, and Steve Gleason has since been in a very serious battle with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and many of these Saints players have continued their support of their teammate as he's going through difficult times. And there was an event held here in New Orleans yesterday to continue to try and raise funds for ALS. Team Gleason has been a charity that so many players, including Thomas Morstead, kicking off right now, growing mustaches in support of Gleason, helping try to raise awareness. And Monday, Brandon Boykin with a throwback across the field, and this is Riley Cooper down the sideline. There's a flag down because that's a forward pass. So this great wrinkle on special teams for a touchdown will be for naught as 2 flags were thrown right at the pass point. Riley Cooper was almost laying down, I think, in the end zone on the far side to just kind of play dumb and hidden. And a Music City Miracle attempt from the famous playoff game in 2000.
Illegal forward
Doesn't
pass
happen.
on the return team. That penalty is half the distance to the goal line. First down, Philadelphia.
All right, so we've got a camera looking right down the goal line just to give you a sense. Here's the pass happening from the 4-yard line. John just circled him there, and there's the pass going forward. And you see clearly it's caught at the 7, so it's not even close. And there's where he was. Great job, guys, finding Riley Cooper lying down in the Saints logo so you couldn't see him. And Brandon Boykin, who is the all-purpose player, throws it that way, and they had the wall set up, and they had it going all the way for the touchdown, except for one basic mistake, the forward pass.
I have never seen that play before. Bobby April, the special teams coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, he must have had a late night this week coming up with that play.
So the Eagles throw a huge wrinkle that almost worked, except for the pass. Now from the 3, they'll run it with McCoy trying to struggle forward. Had a hand hit in the face, just 2 yards. Now we were telling you the Steve Gleason story because the fundraiser yesterday, this Gleason Gras that was held, they have a statue outside to commemorate the moment. They're trying to raise money for ALS. One of the reasons we're telling you this now is because we just found out that Steve was here tonight, taken away from the Superdome by ambulance in the first quarter. Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, was here to support last night. He was non-responsive in the stadium, taken by ambulance to a hospital here in New Orleans. He's alert in the ER and being examined there. His wife Michelle with him. They said to be resting. So that word just coming to us from the Saints. Wanted to get that to you right away. Vick hit as he throws, and that pass is incomplete. Michael Vick took a really big hit one more time, and we'll have 3rd down.
Well, it's not competitive pass protection. You got to protect better than this to have any kind of passing game. By the time he sets his feet, the Saints are closing in on him. Right tackle Demetrius Bell has struggled at left tackle. Now he's struggling at right tackle. I don't know what you call if you can't pass protect.
Play clock's at 8. Vick just getting the Eagles out of the huddle. Timeout. John, you mentioned Demetrius Bell. We should repeat for folks who just joined us. Todd Harriman is out with an injury. He got injured in the first half. And Bell, who was the starter over there at left tackle, has had to hop over to the right side now. Really, you talk about this Eagles team. What are the problems with Philadelphia offensively? There are reasons and excuses in football. It depends what you're looking at and which direction. Their 4 of their 5 would-be starting offensive linemen are now out for them.
Well, that's not excuses. That's the reality, and that's hard to overcome. Andy Reid has always had a great left tackle. He had Trey Thomas for a long time. And then he had, I think, the best left tackle in the entire league, Jason Peters. Neither one of these guys are playing. You don't go from Trey Thomas and Jason Peters, who is a tremendous talent, to a guy like King Dunlap, who's never played more than 3 or 4 games in a row in his life. 4 new starters. Good luck.
Third and 8. Vick out of his end zone. Zings it complete. Big hit, and Macklin holds on despite the contact from Isa Abdul-Quddus. First down.
This shows you a little bit about the football guts of Michael Vick. Been hit a lot tonight. Backed up in his own end zone. He hangs in there and throws a bullet to Jeremy Macklin. Good pass protection and an excellent throw. Great job hanging on to the ball by Macklin.
10 for Philly, 7 for New Orleans in the third. And after 3, it's the Saints by 15. We go to the fourth quarter from the Superdome. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters with you on election eve here in New Orleans. Eagles down 15, trying to avoid going to 3 and 5. Sean McCoy with the carry, keeps it alive to the 31-yard line. Saints trying to win for the 3rd time in 4 games. Beat the Chargers and the Buccaneers, and then lost last Sunday night in Denver by 20 points.
Saints continue to blitz. Steve Spagnuolo got hurt by the blitz earlier. They blew a coverage, but he continues to apply pressure to Michael Vick and this young offensive line.
Bryce Brown in for McCoy at running back. Vick about to get hit. Cameron Jordan has had 3 clean shots at Vick tonight.
Well, the tight end has to be a contributor in pass protection as well. That time a play-action pass. Selleck, the tight end. At times you're going to ask to be stout in pass protection. That time he didn't sustain it, and Cam Jordan continues to ruin Michael Vick's night. Been a blitz down. 3rd and long. Saints at home, and this crowd noise love to come after you.
Vick, Avant's going to have to run for it. Jason Avant, airborne, gets it. First down. That veteran Avant, so important on 3rd down for Vick.
Well, this Philadelphia Eagle offense, they do a great job with ball distribution. That time they want DeSean Jackson on a double move. Nice chip by Jason Avant. Watch him rally for the first down. He knows exactly where he needs to get. Avant, Macklin, DeSean Jackson, Selleck, and McCoy all catch 40 passes every year, it seems.
Number 39, McCoy. Jump by McCoy. Gain of 5. A big spring in his step tonight. DeSean is about 112 yards running tonight.
Not many guys can jump from one gap to the other like LeSean McCoy. I compared him to Barry Sanders a few months ago, and people got on me about it, but not many guys can jump from one gap to the other at full speed like LeSean McCoy.
Vick right into the arms of Will Smith as the protection breaks down again.
Will Smith's done it a long time, going against a 6'10" left tackle. Not many 6'10" left tackles in pro football, and Will Smith has been setting this move up all night. Just a power bull rush. Smith went inside, he went outside, and then here in the 4th quarter, he's going right after the 6'10" Dunlap, who's struggling with the power rush.
6 sacks tonight for the Saints, 2 for Smith. This is 3rd and 10, and Vick delivers. Cooper covered by Jabari Greer, incomplete.
It's the best covered corner the Saints have. Jabari Greer's had some injuries this year, hip problems, had a sports hernia. It's a square in by Riley Cooper, and Jabari Greer does a great job running that route for Riley Cooper. Great job sticking his right hand in there. Big pass breakup.
Lance Moore is back as the two-time Pro Bowler, former Cowboy Matt McBriar kicking it away. They're caught by Moore at the 16s, where Breeze and the offense will take over with a 15-point lead. The coverage of the Crescent City brought to you tonight by DirecTV. There you see the Superdome, which in 90 days hosts the Super Bowl. Champions been crowned in here this year. Alabama football, Kentucky basketball. Been a great year for this building. 11 and 10 play drives here in the second half for the Saints. The 11 play drive was a fumble. The Eagles got back. 10 play drives. The last one a touchdown for the Saints. Chris Ivory to the right. 25-yard line. John, everything feels just a little bit different around the Saints. Obviously, you take a Super Bowl champion head coach away, a man who's really helped be the architect for this explosive offense and the resurgence and renaissance of this franchise. Can't feel the same. Whether it's Aaron Kromer, Joe Vitt, no matter how experienced, you just don't replace the presence of a Sean Payton.
No, you don't. And I'm more interested in the rehab of the Saints and how they come back from this.
Like 5-6, ready, we're ready, my shot.
2nd and 5, and here's Ivory. Good jump to the right side. Kendricks hanging on. But Ivory got forward progress. He got the first down at the 27-yard line. You talk about the rehab. You mean the franchise as a whole and the damage that has been done because of the suspensions back to the bounty issue.
Yeah, and Sean Payton. You know, this is taking a real toll on him. Don't forget that. He's been away from his team, the game he loves, the fans that mean a lot to him. He's coaching his son's 6th grade team down in Dallas, the Liberty Christian Warriors. He's the offensive coordinator. This is taking a real toll on him. But I do know this. He's watching every snap, and he's going to come back, I think, better than he's ever been before. This has really been tough on him. I know that.
Breeze on the pass. Chet Collins, the fullback, with a rare catch, and he's got a couple of yards. You talk about coming back and where he's going to come back. Our Adam Schefter reported yesterday Payton could be a free agent when the season's over. Contract extension that he had with the Saints was voided by the league, as you look at Tom Benson, the longtime owner here of the Saints. Well, the league has confirmed now that there can be negotiations that happen towards a contract extension because Sean otherwise would be a free agent at the end of the year. So this still has a lot to play out as to what Sean Payton's options will be and where he will be next season. Ivory's going to lose a couple of yards on this carry, and the Eagles will have a chance here on 3rd and 11. You know, it seems to me, John, that both sides want to be back together. The Saints folks and Sean Payton want to be back together to pick up where this left off.
I don't care what was reported. The way I know Sean Payton, he's going to be right back here in New Orleans. He's a very loyal guy. Tom Benson has stuck with him during some hard times here, and he's going to show his loyalty and come back with Mickey Loomis, I believe, without a doubt, and try to make the Saints championship contenders again.
3rd and 10. The Eagles bringing pressure. It's picked up for Breeze. Nobody was open, and coming around was Babin to knock it free. And the Saints are very fortunate that Pierre Thomas was there to fall on it. So twice, John, that pass rush has gotten there and almost got another turnover.
The Kansas City Chiefs came in here a few weeks ago, trailing 23-6, and they turned the game around with impact turnovers. I am shocked that Drew Brees is holding the ball on his own 15-yard line with a 15-point lead. That's careless if you ask me, Mike. New Orleans has to protect the lead and get out of here with a victory.
Lucky there. Morstead kicking. DeMaurice Johnson is back. Guy from this New Orleans area, played in the state championship game here. That's a perfect kick towards the sideline with good hang time and depth from Morstead. No option but to fair catch it at the 26. Babin close to the 2nd turnover forced by an Eagles defensive end in this half. Breeze lucky his team got it back. The Eagles defense maligned in that first half. Shown up here in the second half, able to put the ball on the ground a couple of times for the Saints, get it back once for the offense. And now down 15 with 8:45 to go. Limited margin of error for Michael Vick in the Eagle offense. No game. If anything, loss of a half yards. Tom Johnson played in the Arena League, the Canadian Football League. Played for the Philadelphia Soul, made the tackle.
Demetrius Bell at right tackle. Right guard, number 67. Dennis Kelly continued to struggle.
Eagles were able to run it well in the first half. Vick taking off. And Michael Vick slides forward at the 33-yard line, really dives forward. You go no huddle here now, John?
Got to hurry. I'm surprised Philadelphia isn't pushing the envelope a little bit. Here they go into the no huddle offense. Down 2 scores. Hard to do with a lot of guys out, but Philadelphia is looking at a real uphill climb inside of 8 minutes.
Third and 2, and Vick gets it to Jason Avant, who makes a man miss. Good first down play for Avant to the 41-yard line.
Another missed tackle by the Saint defense. Steve Spagnuolo's called a great game tonight. He's got New Orleans Saints in perfect position to make plays. This time it's number 24, Corey White. Missing a tackle. You have to have secondary people that can make one-on-one tackles against spread formations these days.
McCoy had the block on the defensive end. Vick made that all on his own. Out of bounds in front of Roman Harper, first down.
Michael Vick. You want to bench Michael Vick, you might have 10 sacks. McCoy comes across the formation for a pickup. No one blocks number 24. He makes Martez Wilson miss and gains 12 yards. He should have been hit 5 times.
I think 2 offensive linemen touched no one on that play. Inside of 7. Number 7 to McCoy. John McCoy looks really good tonight to the 29-yard line.
Pat and I recognize, I used to call that with Ricky Waters back in my days in Philadelphia. A little Texas route. Halfback angle out of the backfield. Michael Vick throws it sidearm to sense a throwing lane. I guess you got to do that when you got 6'10" left tackles and 6'8" right guards.
Roman Harper down at the back end of that play. Injury timeout at 6:27 left in regulation. Tonight to the black and gold in Pittsburgh. Steelers at 5-3 and the struggling Chiefs. Monday Night Football begins with Monday Night Countdown, 6:30 Eastern Time. We'll see Big Ben off the win over the Giants. Goes down. It's LaShawn McCoy with the run. The 23-yard line. So McCoy, 20 touches, about 130 yards here on the night.
Blitzes continue, and just because you blitz doesn't mean you're okay in defending the run. The Saints have to be very careful that they shut these gaps down, even if they do blitz, because McCoy has gashed them a few times.
22 design run with Vick. McCoy able to get the block downfield, but Michael goes down after the first down is picked up at the 16.
Plenty of time left. Philadelphia has really struggled, obviously, in the red zone. They need their best play selection. They must expect pressure. It's these red zone blitzes from New Orleans that have hurt Philly the most tonight.
16, it is Vick. End zone flick out of the end zone with Jackson blanketed by Patrick Robinson.
Earlier in the game, all-out blitz, double-edge pressure from New Orleans. They throw a little quick out to Selleck. To beat the blitz, ball's tipped, intercepted by Robinson, who races 99 yards. Then it's a 7-man blitz. You have a 5-man protection. You're going to be 1 short. It's like Michael Vick never expected it. Pressures have killed Philadelphia. They better be alert for another one.
2nd and 10, direct snap taken by McCoy, trying to get to the edge. Nothing doing there. Corey White got past Jason Avant to help force it, and the big cleanup comes from Jonathan Casillas.
It's a great play by Corey White. You see Avant come in to try to block the perimeter doesn't happen. Mathis is the lead blocker, but number 24 beats Jason Avant. Big third down. Andy Reid's in 4-down territory. Any kind of gain isn't a bad thing.
Third and 15. May go the other way. Let's see. We're going to talk about this. Perhaps 3rd and 5 instead.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Cameron Jordan, who's had a couple of hits on Vic, that time gives him a 3rd and 5.
Take a look at it. You're the right tackle. You feel the neutral zone infraction. You start your pass set. 3rd and 5, and Philly has 4 downs. They had 2 downs to make 5 yards.
The receivers at the bottom and Brent Selleck, the tight end, at the top. Defended by Jabari Greer. Coming underneath is Selleck, who got the first down at the 5. White tried to rip it out, but couldn't get it. So 1st and goal, Philly, 4:25 to go. John, this is the 4th time the Eagles have had 1st and goal tonight.
And it's a nice job by the Eagles pass protecting. Selleck finally finds an opening in this New Orleans zone coverage and gets the first down to set Philly up with a big 1st and goal.
1st and goal has yielded -1 point for Philly. 2 field goals and 1 pick six the other way for New Orleans. Vic, Clay Harbor, the tight end, open field play 3 times in a row. The rookie out of Sanford, Corey White, has been very good.
Boy, that screen didn't fool anybody that time.
We have a flag down.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Demetrius Bell, the tackle in because Harrimans is hurt.
Demetrius Bell has really hurt the Eagles. I know he's playing right tackle, the former left tackle, but when it's a screen pass, you can't be downfield. And you see Demetrius Bell blocking downfield before the ball is thrown.
They'll give you 2 or 3 yards. Bell was down by the 1. Garth Felice, the umpire, saw it and called it. McCoy just out of his range as Casillas is waiting to make the hit.
It's the same pattern he caught earlier in this drive. Have to trust that the quarterback's not going to lay you out to dry. That time McCoy started running before he caught the football. It's a common fault by most backs.
Bell. Again.
Ball start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
There'll be more changes in Philadelphia on this offensive line if Demetrius Bell doesn't pick up his play. You have to have a tackle that can be a swing tackle in case someone goes down, and Demetrius Bell is that guy. You're paid to be the backup left tackle and the backup right tackle. You can't make penalties in these situations.
Howard Mudd, the veteran offensive line coach, watching it all. A 5-minute drive here. Got to get a touchdown, Philly. Vic, down again. Cameron Jordan again.
Right side. That's the blind side of Michael Vick, guys. You're a left-handed quarterback. You can't see what's going on your blind side, and it's probably a good thing Michael Vick doesn't see it.
They victimized Bell again. It's 7 sacks now of Vic tonight. It's the most times he's been sacked. Ties the most. Sacked 7 times by the Giants when he was a Falcon in 06. So 3rd and goal. And the clock spinning. Vic throws, gets a bunch of yards back, fumbled but recovered by Seligman. He lost it again, and Isa Abdul-Quddus able to come up with it. Curtis Lofton made the first hit. The turnover will automatically be looked at. Plays 5 minutes 40 seconds. The Eagles once again get close, get nothing.
What's up, Stuart Scott with you, SportsCenter after the game. It is the GMC postgame report. Highlights and analysis of Vic and the Eagles against Breeze and the Saints. Also, the top 10 plays of the week from the NFL Week 9. And on the NBA hard court, the Knicks, the undefeated Knicks, Mike Tirico, set an NBA record.
All right, Knicks off to a good start. Right next door, the New Orleans Hornets with Anthony Davis, #1 pick, Austin Rivers. They play Philadelphia, the 76ers, on Wednesday night on ESPN. That was confirmed by the replay booth as a catch and a fumble. There's a lot going on in that play, and the bottom line is the Saints getting it to 7. Run by Ingram for 2 yards. Philadelphia's going to start using its timeouts here. They take one at 2:56. Let's go back to that last play, bring in Jerry Austin again.
The receiver gets the ball 2 feet on the ground, and then he turns to make a football move, and he's hit instantly when he turns. Then he goes to bring the ball in, and with his own hand, before he gains full control of the ball, he knocks it away. So we got a catch, fumble, and he does not control it on the ground.
So even though he's down there, Jerry, arms around it, being contacted by Lofton, because he doesn't control it on the ground, when it gets spit out of there, it's a fumble.
It's still a loose ball. It was never controlled.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And it's John Veselak and the rest of the Eagles, the night of the red zone nightmare. Been in there 4 times and come away with 2 field goals.
Called Selleck's number in the first quarter. It bounced off his hand. It was intercepted. He just turned it over there. Exactly right, Mike.
Philadelphia down to its final timeout, and the Saints will throw to Jimmy Graham. Pulled down by Akeem Jordan. Final timeout taken at 2:47 here by the Eagles. So to that point for Andy Reid's team, first and goal 4 times. They had 2 field goals, the 1 interception in the first quarter that went back for a touchdown, and that fumble lost. And the Philadelphia loss here gets them to 3-5, and this has been a big issue for this team. Those turnovers at the wrong time.
This NFC East, there's not a lot of happy campers in this division this weekend. Washington, a tough loss at home. The Giants got beat yesterday at home. Cowboys, tough loss last night. 9-7 won the East last year. The Giants, they won the World Championship. The Eagles are going to be 2 games behind New York, it looks like. Have some obvious things they need to clean up. The right tackle position on offense and their red zone will get some extra work this week.
Philly plays Dallas and Washington the next 2 weeks. Dallas 3-5. Washington 3-6, and the Eagles just a few minutes from 3-5. Toss to Ivory, just down inbounds, which is important for New Orleans. It's shy of the first down. It looks like they'll just take it right to the edge of the 2-minute warning before the play clock runs out.
How do you not like Chris Ivory? Some of these Saints, they come from nowhere. I think their best pass rusher, Junior Gillette from, I don't even know where he's from. Stillman College. He got hurt earlier in the game. Ivory is from Tiffin College. I don't know where the Saints find their players.
Drew Brees is doing a good job here, John. He's working with the guys on the sideline. Got Joe Vitt to go down to just make sure they maximize the clock, and they didn't. They didn't get there in time. So Morstead kicks an absolute rocket that Johnson gets at the 20. It was a 63-yard punt that Johnson brought back to the 38-yard line. Brees, the absence of Sean Payton, he's trying to help head coach the team. He's trying to get to Vitt and say, get it down to 2:01, take the timeout, then punt to maximize the other side of the 2-minute warning. Officially 66 on that massive kick by Morstead. Saints by 15. Down 15. Looks like they're on the way to 3-5. Nobody's had a better winning percentage in Eagles history. Andy Reid's only had 2 losing seasons in his first 13 and been to the playoffs 9 times. He's stacked with the top names in the business right now. Bill Belichick, second to Bill in active head coaches division titles. One behind multiple Super Bowl champs Belichick and Coughlin in playoff wins. But his team has been handed the 8-8 unacceptable ultimatum from the owner Jeffrey Lurie in August this year, and if they don't make a massive comeback here, they'll need to go 6-2 to have a winning record this season. Jason Avant shy of midfield. No timeouts left. There's Jeffrey Lurie.
I hope you have a good contingency plan if you let Andy Reid out of here, because I just saw those graphs just like you did. He's done some phenomenal things in Philadelphia. And don't forget what he's been through this year, Mike, either.
Scrambling out of bounds. Of course, you referred to the death of his son Garrett, who had undergone a very public battle with substance abuse and was found at their camp at Lehigh in Pennsylvania back in August, a heroin overdose.
Been in here a long time, and Philadelphia went another direction. I can just hear the cheering in Washington and Dallas and New York. They don't want Andy Reid in the NFC East.
30 left. Vic throwing complete to Selleck. Lofton tackles him at the 38-yard line. Eagles open 3-1. They beat Cleveland, Baltimore by a point, beat the Giants as well. But they've lost their last 3 to Pittsburgh. As we get into the GMC postgame coming up on SportsCenter as soon as we're done. Blew the 10-point lead with 5 minutes to go at home to the Lions. On to the 26. No timeouts. Under 60 seconds. Eagles trying to somehow get to the end zone, get a score, and try an onside kick. Vic taking a shot out of the end zone. Deshaun Jackson pulls up.
Look on the other sideline, you see head coach Joe Vitt. What a year it's been for him. Sean Payton's the head coach. Joe Vitt becomes the head coach during training camp. He hands it over to Aaron Kromer for the first 6 weeks. Now Joe Vitt's back. You just don't put on a headset and show up on game day and be a head coach. Joe Vitt's missed a lot of time. He's missed the daily working with these Saint players. What a phenomenal person that guy is. He's beat cancer twice. He's quite a story. If you don't know Joe Vitt, get to know him.
34-year NFL coaching veteran. Selleck the catch. Inbounds to 15. 30 seconds. Tumbling clock.
Great coaches. They prepare their teams and they present their game plans. These two guys, I had a great experience working with Andy Reid and Joe Vitt. Man, do they prepare, and they can really present their game plans to their teams. Great salesmen of their football. They've done it forever. It's just too bad one of these two teams has to lose tonight, but I really credit the work Joe Vitt, Drew Brees, and the Saints have done in an unbelievable, maddening season.
Number 15. Vic's pass for Clay Harbor is incomplete.
This red zone film, I'll tell you though, Mike, this is going to be burned. This is going to be at the bottom of one of those bridges in Philadelphia. They've dropped passes, they've missed blocks, they've failed in pass protection. Unbelievable the yardage that the Eagles can rack up. 450 yards tonight and 13 points.
8 games in a row that New Orleans has allowed over 400 yards. It's never happened in NFL history. Vic off the hands of Avant and incomplete. We'll have 4th and 10 coming with 14 seconds left.
The Eagles need to catch the playmaking fever. No one has made a great catch. A phenomenal run in a long time in the red zone. Balls are bouncing off people's hands. The Eagles need to find Macklin's magic. Deshaun Jackson. They need to catch the fever, the playmaking fever in a hurry.
Vic. And it ends that way. 447 yards, 272 throwing, but 7 sacks of Michael Vick tonight. And the Eagles will fall to 3-5, and the Saints will improve to 3-5. The Eagles brought it to the Saints 6, the 4, the 7, the 5, and the 15. So 5 times they had it inside the 15-yard line, and only 2 field goals to show for it.
All of a sudden, New Orleans has won 3 out of 4. And they know they have a lot of work to do, but as long as they have this quarterback and this nucleus of skill players, hard to bet against them.
Drew Brees, who's put a lot on his shoulders in the absence of his head coach, Sean Payton, with the suspension. They get their general manager, Mickey Loomis, back as his 8-game suspension comes to an end, and Mickey will be back from the office tomorrow morning trying to put together the pieces of a Saints team that's, as John said, won 3 of the last 4, while the Eagles have dropped 4 in a row and 5 of their last 6. The Eagles play Dallas next week, and the Saints get the undefeated Atlanta Falcons. SportsCenter coming next with John Gruden, Lisa Salters, our entire Monday night team. Mike Tirico saying good night from New Orleans. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Enjoy exercising your right to vote tomorrow. SportsCenter starts next.